Hello everybody, today I wanted to give you guys a quick look at our mini IDE program that we have here. Now the mini IDE is going to be a part of our Visual Basic Guide and this is for volume 1s. What this is though is just a real basic, it's kind of like a text editor kind of. It's got some nice little features to it. Ultimately, you're still going to need to use Visual Studio Express, but what this is going to be used for throughout the software, when you're learning, you'll need to practice writing statements and things of that nature, so you can start getting used to the syntax. Or if you're completely new to it, learn how to write the syntax. So what we have here, though, right now is we have some pre-made samples. I'll go ahead and pull up my Boolean value, and of course, there's some little humor in it as well. Alright, so what we have here, if we were doing this course, it tells us that we want to write this statement 10 times. So we just come down here to our practice and just start copying. Just basically, we just want to copy, write it word for word as it is, because we're learning. You know, we're not experts right now. So we just want to come down here and just keep on typing. And we just do that 10 times. Now, what you don't want to do is you don't want to copy and paste, because we all know that you could just copy and paste this. I mean, we all know you could do that, but that's not going to help you. Some other things that you'll notice as well, this does have a built-in syntax highlighter, which is kind of convenient, especially when you're making the transition from the mini IDE to Visual Studio and vice versa. When you're writing in this, it's really nice to have that basic syntax highlighting, because sometimes it can be really hard when you're writing a long statement. Let's say something like, let's do the division calculator, for example. This one's a little bit larger than just a basic declaration or declaring a variable. It's going to take a few seconds to load. Alright, so if we were to write this out, I mean, it's obviously not like a huge statement or anything, and it doesn't end it for us automatically or anything super special, but it's still somewhat visibly easy to read. I mean, you're not going to sit here and, gouge your eyes out trying to read this. Now, another thing you might have picked up is our little wannabe Intellisense thing. I'm still working on this. It's a little hairy on how it works, but what it'll do is it'll give you a definition of something, like, say, an if statement. So if I'm in the learning process and I don't know what an if statement is, this is going to give me the actual MSDN definition of what that keyword is supposed to do. Now, the problem is with this we have currently is if I type too fast, see, it's already stuck on that if statement. It didn't go and recognize my next keyword because this hasn't timed out yet. So I've got to fix that bug. Other than that, though, it's actually a pretty nifty little thing, especially if you're just starting out. I'm thinking what I'll probably do is probably just get rid of the tooltip and probably just have like a pop-up up here or something. And that will just initiate it. That way I don't have to worry about the tooltip timeout to refresh it. But I don't know. It's still in the works. Anyway, this is pretty much as far as I've gotten right now, is just chapter 1 as far as the samples go. And again, I love that little humor the computer is thinking. And of course, this tooltip's going to get on my nerves. I have to move. Alright, so yeah, so here's a simple string, just for example, and how you would do a string. Now, as I said, though, this is not going to replace Visual Studio, and it's probably not going to replace Notepad++ or anything like that. It's not that great. It's just a very basic text editor, basically. I wouldn't even consider it really an IDE at this point. I'm not even sure if it's going to have the capabilities of compiling. But like I said, it's going to be really useful when you're using our software to learn Visual Basic, to learn the syntax. It's really going to help you quickly excel within the language. Um, I've worked with VV for 4 years now, and prior to that, I worked with C Sharp for about 5 years. Learning C Sharp was very painful. Being my first language, it was really difficult because I didn't have anybody to help me learn C Sharp. When I learned Visual Basic, it was actually a lot easier transition. Not so much that I already knew the basics of programming, because even then I really wasn't nearly as good as I am now. It's just there wasn't as many tools available at the time when I was learning C Sharp as there was when I was learning Visual Basic. So it made learning Visual Basic a lot easier. So what I'm doing now is I'm trying to make it even easier for those of you out there who are wanting to learn programming or maybe just want to learn Visual Basic syntax. So hopefully this tool will make things a lot easier for you on top of the other software that's going to be included with this. In case you're wondering, what we plan on having is I plan on having a book. We're going to have the IDE, of course. Then we'll have an interactive reference. What the reference will do, bring that up. It will allow you to go to any part of the book section or the section within the software/book and review those sections. So actually I will show you. Yeah, I was right the first time. I will show you the reference. I'll go ahead and just what it's going to do. So let's say I wanted to look at chapter 1 and see what we got going on there. So I wanted to cover using the software or whatever topic that I wanted to go over that I just wanted to review. I can bring that up. I can bring that topic up right here. Now, the main GUI for this entire system, though, is actually going to be the book itself. So this is actually where everything's going to be when we're looking through. We're going to be flipping through the pages. This is actually what we're going to be seeing the whole time. Now, these will pop up as separate forms, but this will be the primary form, is the actual book itself, which will have all the texts. So that's our tool. I just wanted to show you the tool, though, show you the progress of it, what we've gotten so far. We're not too far into it. I've got everything already planned out on paper, of course. Everything looks good on paper, but, you know, in actual practice is always a different story. So I'm doing some adjustments as I go, kind of adjusting things on the fly. Really just getting feedback from our testers and myself as well as the other developers and working on this as well. Basically, I'm trying to build this from the idea that you're going into this, learning this language as a completely new person to programming. You've never programmed before, and you need something that's going to, you know, teach you very quickly, but efficiently and correctly how to program, or at least the basics of programming. Now, what I plan on doing as well, because if you look at the chapters, there are some things that are not covered. What I plan on doing with this, at some point, I plan on releasing Volume 2, which will probably be a collection of just like project samples, and maybe one on ASP, maybe ADO.NET for Visual Basic, and then I plan on going back and I plan on writing some for C# as well. I'm not sure about C++, if I'll write any for C++, because C++ there really is honestly no real easy way to pick up C++. I mean, it's really just a very wordy syntax and a very long process to master C++, which is kind of why C# and VB kind of came about, because they're more simplified versions. But nevertheless, I'll probably just focus on C# and Visual Basic, just because those are the easier syntaxes to learn, and they're not every bit as powerful as C++, but they're almost as powerful as C++. They're still extremely useful, and you'll use them in whether it be business applications or entertainment applications, you'll use them. Alright, so thanks for watching my video. Please subscribe and please stay tuned. Hopefully we'll have more videos about this product. And please post your comments about this product. Let me know what you like, what you don't like. Let me know what you want me to add to it, take away, etc.